you'll have just heard there, I have just started recording this webinar just for people who are not able to join us this evening. So just get back to the slideshow. So as I say, most of you already know me. I am Laura Piercy. I work at Acland Burghley at the minute as Progress and Pathways Leader. I'm starting a new role in September. I'll still be working at Acland Burghley for part of the week, but I'm starting a role as Associate Director of LaSWAP, so I'll be working more widely across the consortium. This webinar tonight, though, is mainly focused on Acland Burghley. It's focused on Acland Burghley enrolment and what will be happening on results day for our internal students going into the LaSWAP. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat and I will answer them at the end of the presentation. These webinar slides will also be available on the Acland Burghley website, and the recording of this webinar will be on our sixth form YouTube channel, so you can access it later and watch it again if you wish to. If you want me to send you the slides directly, please just send me an email. My email address is in the presentation at several points, and I'll also put it up at the end of the presentation if you want to write it down. So just to get going. So first slide, I'm just going to tell you who your team are in the sixth form at Acland Burghley, many of whom you will be familiar with. So a lot of you will know Anna Rivington. She's been Director of Key Stage 5 for about 4 or 5 years. So a lot of you will know Anna. Ron Stokes, many of you will know. He's worked at Acland Burghley for a very long time. He may have taught history to your children. A new addition to the sixth form team, but someone that you will all definitely know is Saeed, because he has been the year team leader for year 11 this year, so you'll be familiar with Saeed. There's me, who I have just introduced. We've also got, we're really lucky to have Shaquille, who is the other Pathways and Progress leader, focusing more on pastoral. And we have Charlie, who is our TLA, working the sixth form with a lot of with the AEN department, but also doing lots of other sort of pastoral support across sixth form. And we have the fantastic Linda, who is the Key Stage 5 administrator. You will get to know Linda very well. She is the person that you will hear from if your child isn't in school for whatever reason. She's the person that you will contact about attendance. You will get lots, and she's the person who sends out all of our communication, so a lot of our texts and emails. So these are the people that you will have a lot of contact with in the next couple of years. So just to talk very briefly about why come to LaSWAP, really. So what we offer, a lot of you will be familiar with how LaSWAP works, but if you're not, I'm going to explain it in the next couple of slides. We are 4 schools, and even though we work together as a consortium, we do retain like a separate identity across those 4 schools. That means as well that we can offer this massive range of subjects and qualifications, not only in A-levels, but in vocational qualifications, in BTEC, in Cambridge Tech, also at level 2 as well as level 3. We offer a lot of super and extracurricular activities. We have excellent pathways and progression support. The movement between the 4 schools really allows for a very college-based feel, yet because the student is based at one school, it has that familiarity and that small kind of school structure. And at the moment, about 60% of our home students, our internal students, progress to LaSWAP. So that makes a really good mix of students that your children will already know and students who are brand new faces. So what happens in the next month or so? We've just had Taste Today, which we had a really good turnout from Acland Burghley, really good. And I'm hoping it was useful. The next date for your calendar then should be GCSE results day, Thursday, the 24th of August at Acland Burghley, and students can arrive from 10 a.m. We are also doing LaSWAP enrolment for Acland Burghley students on the same day, on the Thursday, the 24th, again at Acland Burghley School. There are a very small number of opportunities for remote enrolment if your child can't attend on the Thursday for whatever reason. We have some remote enrolment appointments left on Thursday afternoon and some on the Tuesday the next week, although for reasons that I'll explain, the Tuesday is not ideal. If they can come on the Thursday, that is much, much better. If they can't attend results day, if you and your children can't attend results day, you can also arrange to have their results either collected for them or emailed to them, but it has to be done in advance. So please email Sylvia Severe before the end of term, and she will be able to organise that for you. Otherwise, your child won't get their results until they're put in the post. And with it being the bank holiday, it can be into the next week, depending on the postal service, by the time they get them. This is a photo from enrollment a couple of years ago. But this year we are going electronic. So instead of having lots of forms to fill in, a lot of it will be done electronically this year. But the system and the setup is pretty much the same. So we aim to enroll, as I say, all of our students on that Thursday. And when the students collect their results, they should then wait at school to enroll. It is a quick process for the vast majority of students. We have lots of people enrolling. They won't need to wait very long, but they should hang around. As I said, any other days has to be by prior appointment. And any student who achieves a 6 or a 7 in maths, but they wish to study maths A-level, will need to complete a maths assessment on enrolment day, and they'll need to go to the LaSWAP building from 11 a.m. to sit that assessment. So if you have a child who is planning to study maths A-level, please do let them know. They just need, as I said, they should be prepared for this. There's no sort of revision or anything to do. They should just be aware that they will need to sit that assessment on that day if they achieve a 6 or a 7. If they don't, we cannot sort of provisionally put them into a maths class. So they need to make sure that they do that. If your child is holding offers from other sixth forms or colleges, please do check with them to see what their enrolment process is, because it really varies across the different schools and the different colleges, and it may not be the same as ours. One thing to note, I've sent an email about this afternoon, just to clarify, is that we are hugely oversubscribed this year. And the reason we're telling you that is not to show off, but it's because we can't reserve spaces at LaSWAP. We can't reserve spaces on any course for any reason. So if your child doesn't enroll on the Thursday, we then have external enrollment on the Friday and the Saturday for students who are not from the 4 LaSWAP schools, and we will fill up. We have way more applications than we have spaces at LaSWAP. So please don't assume that your child will be able to kind of come in during that week after results day and enroll with us, or enroll at the start of term, because chances are they won't. There may be the odd course that isn't full, but we just don't know. And at the minute, it looks like we are going to completely fill in all areas. Acland, but just to clarify that Acland Burghley students, just like any LaSwap Union students, Parley, Wes students, do not have an automatic LaSWAP place. They have to meet the entry requirements, but they also have to enroll with us. Just because they filled in an application form or they've had an interview, that does not get them into LaSWAP. They have to complete the enrollment stage, or they will not have a place. I really don't want students assuming that they're in, and then finding out during the week, after GCSE results, that actually they can't come to LaSWAP after all because there are no spaces available for them. So please make sure they wait on results day and enroll. Most Year 11s have been issued with a conditional offer for LaSWAP, and they don't have to bring it if they don't want to, but they can if they wish to. They, of course, do not have to enroll on the courses that are on their conditional offer or the courses that are on their application form. They might be the same, they might be different. It doesn't matter. At enrollment, they can choose any courses that they are qualified for. So the subjects that they've selected, they're not tied to those subjects. The person doing the enrollment will start by saying, usually, do you still want to enroll on these subjects? But it's absolutely fine for them to say no and say that they've changed their minds. We know it's been a long time since they've done the application forms and since the interviews. Students will not be able to enroll on any course if they don't meet the entry requirements, however. So the grades they get in August must match our entry requirements or they won't be able to enroll. And that includes any course they've had any kind of conditional offer for, or they've put on the application form. What really matters is what they get on the day. If you don't have a copy of that offer and you want one, drop me an email. And if your child hasn't had an offer, and you think they should have, you can also send me an email, but they don't need an offer to enroll either. So at this stage, even if they haven't had a conditional offer, it is absolutely fine to just enroll on results day, just with the rest of the cohort. This year, as I said, we have used a different system. We've used an application system called Applica for the online applications, and we are also using the same system to do the enrolment. So if your child hasn't completed an application form, so if they didn't do an application form back in January or back in February, but they've now decided they want to come, it is important that they do that application form before results day, because otherwise that will slow things down, because they will have to sit at a computer and fill it in, and then we will have to enroll them. So they were all issued with a password and a logon way back in early 2023. But if you can't find them, which is completely understandable, again, drop me an email. And equally, if you're not sure if your child has applied or not, then you can email me and I can check for you. If your child needs a hand with the form, if they're going to struggle with it, then please email Glenn. Glenn is our connections worker. He works with a lot of colleges, and he also offers a lot of support to our AEN students. So moving on then from enrolment day to what happens after enrolment. So one key part of LaSWAP enrolment is that all students have to complete an enrolment assignment for each subject or course that they are studying. So for example, if they're studying 3 A-levels, they'll have 3 enrolment assignments. If they're studying a BTEC and an A-level, they'll have 2, etc., etc. They must complete that and take it to their first timetabled lesson. They don't need to take it to the induction days because they won't have their timetable. They won't know when their lessons are. But once they get their timetable, they should take it in. These assignments form the first part of induction at LaSWAP, which students must pass. So they have to be completed in full. And if they're really struggling and they're finding it difficult, then they should find and speak to one of their subject teachers as soon as possible when school starts. All of the enrolment assignments are on the LaSWAP website, not the Acland Burghley website. So if you go to the LaSWAP website, the menu across the top, you will find enrolment assignments, and they are by subject there. So you should be able to see them. In fact, let's just have a quick look. And I will show you what they look like. Here we go. So here's the LaSWAP website. Enrolment assignments is just at the top there. And then A-levels, level 3 BTECs, level 2 BTECs, and you can see they are just broken down by subject. So if your child is studying A-level chemistry, then this is what they will have to complete. I'm glad I'm not studying A-level chemistry, but there it is. And they're just by subject on there, so they should be really easy to find. So we now know that how to enroll. We know about enrolment assignments. What else do your children need to do before the summer? So whether they're going to LaSWAP or whether they're going somewhere else, they must check the website for the sixth form or the college that they've chosen to check for things like enrolment assignments, see if there's anything they need to do, anything they need to bring with them. Please encourage them to get organized. So that is knowing when the first day is. Again, the first day might vary depending on the school or the college. When lessons start, so do they have induction days? Do they go straight into lessons? What they're expected to bring with them, what the dress code is. So all that kind of stuff that they will need to be successful in their first couple of days. Please help them to buy some general stationery to bring with them. So just pens, files, paper, and a decent sized bag to put it all in, and check their route to school and how long it takes at rush hour. Hopefully they know how to get to Acland Burghley. But if they have decided to go to Camden School for Girls or to Woodhouse or somewhere instead, please make sure that they know how to get there. Just some photos here from induction day. One of the tasks that we did on induction day, which was to work in a group to produce a runway show of outfits entirely made out of newspapers and masking tape and bin bags. And this is some of the beautiful creations that our students came up with. So next bit then, I just want to talk a little bit about the progression from GCSE to BTEC, because it's something that I get asked about quite a lot. The core differences then, like the practical differences, are that students will have a different study program. So most students will have study periods, which means they will have free periods in inverted commas, but we do recommend that these periods are used for studying. The common room is available for study only during lesson time. So if your timetable looked like this student's timetable here, and you had Wednesday period 1 and 2 as a study period, then you can absolutely come into school and work during that time. Or you can just come in for period 3. On something like this Friday here, where there are 2 free periods, 2 study periods in the middle of the day, we would absolutely recommend that student stays in school and uses that time to do some independent study. All year 12 and 13 students have personal development every Monday, period 3, and that is a compulsory session that is part of their timetable. The first 4 weeks at LaSWAP are an induction period. During that time, students can change courses if they work out that the courses that they've signed up for just don't work for them. We don't want students locked into 2 years of something that they really don't like. So if they find, 2-3 weeks in that psychology was a huge mistake, they should go to the admin office in the common room, talk to Mr. Tavernier, to Shaquille, or Anna, or Ron, or Saeed, or myself, and about changing subjects. They can only swap to another subject that they qualify for. So, for example, if they didn't get a 6 in maths, they can't switch to a maths A level. They need to qualify for it, and it will also have to fit in with the rest of their timetable. So they are things that they will need to take into account. A few key differences then. I think these are all things that you would expect. The amount of independent study is probably one of the main things that goes up rapidly between GCSE and A level. There is suddenly a lot of independent study, more independent study expected. The self-motivation and organization is expected much more. We set independent study, and teachers collect it, mark it, and monitor it. But things like note taking and extra reading are on students to do. And speaking of that last point there, we do expect a level of what we call supercurricular engagement from our sixth form students. That is staying engaged and reading around subjects outside of the classroom. So being interested and really wanting to learn more and progress in their courses. However, there are a few things that aren't different from GCSE. One of the main ones there is around absence. Sixth form students cannot authorize their own absence. It must, if they are off, that absence must still be authorized by a parent or carer. You can do that by emailing or calling Linda Lyons, whose phone number will be plastered over everything, and whose email address is on here and at the end, and letting her know that your child won't be in school and the reason for that. We aim for 100% attendance. We know that's not always the case for various reasons, but the aim is still for full attendance at sixth form as in lower school. We do have a dress code in LaSWAP sixth form. It is very similar to Acland Burghley lower school. It is a gender neutral dress code. That we try and keep it as simple as possible and just suitable for a working school day. And we also have a really high level of pastoral and academic support that maintains into sixth form, same as in lower school. So LaSWAP itself then is a little bit different to a normal college or sixth form. Just a few key points is that the students are based at one school. In most cases, this will be Acland Burghley if they have been Acland Burghley students. That is their pastoral base, is where their tutor is, where personal development is. Their head of year will be at that school. So their heads of year will be Saeed and Ron. And it's where their UCAS coordinator, when they apply for university, lives. I will be their UCAS coordinator. Most of our students travel to at least one of the LaSWAP school. Over a third of our students go to at least one of the LaSWAP school for one subject. Exams are taken in the school that you're taught at. So, for example, if you have psychology and sociology at Burghley and you have history at Parliament Hill, you will take your exams for history at Parliament Hill. That includes your mock exams and your HSEs. And enrichment takes place across the 4 schools. So we encourage students to travel across the SWAP as much as possible and take part in enrichment activities at all 4 schools and in the LaSWAP building itself. Tutorial and personal development are a key part of our curriculum. We do still have an AM tutorial. And as I said, attendance to personal development is compulsory. And that is because we cover so much important stuff in personal development. So we do cover PSHE topics, but we also do a lot of work on pathways after sixth form. All of our UCAS education takes place in personal development. We do work on gap years, on applying for apprenticeships, we do all the information about applying for student finance, about general financial literacy, about study skills for exams. It is a really jam-packed program that has lots and lots of information as well as sort of personal and health education things as well. On to then the last few bits that I'm going to talk about today, just to clarify the LaSWAP admissions criteria. Again, I think most of you will know this, but to take our academic pathway, usually 3 A levels, but you can combine that with an EPQ or a 4th A level if grades are particularly high. For that, we are looking for 6 GCSEs at grade 6, and there are also subject-specific criteria that go along with that. So as I mentioned with maths before, 4 GCSEs at grade 6, at least that would include maths, which has to be, if you get a 6 or a 7, you need to do an assessment. If you get an 8 or a 9, you are golden. We have our vocational pathway, which is level 3 BTEC or Cambridge Technical, usually with an A level, but we have some extended BTECs that are the equivalent to 3 A levels. For that, we're looking for an average of a 5 across GCSEs, but we do also have subject-specific criteria for that. So for example, business BTEC asks for particular maths grades, art will ask for particular grades in art. And finally, we have our 3-year pathway. So this is 1 year of a level 2 BTEC, which often includes maths or English GCSE resits alongside that. And then progressing for most students into 2 years of level 3. So a 3-year sixth form in total. For that, we're looking for around 4 GCSEs at grade 4, but we are a little bit more flexible on that pathway. And the full requirements can be found on the LaSWAP website. If your child's holding an offer somewhere else, most have very similar entry criteria to us. There's not a lot of difference, especially for the A levels. One thing to look at though is that some of the colleges do have a much broader, wider suite of vocational qualifications. So they offer things like they will offer the applied science BTEC, but they will offer it in a forensic pathway. They offer various engineering BTECs because they have they're just bigger, so they can offer more subjects than we can in those vocational areas. So if your child is interested in going down those pathways, we are more than happy for them to explore that, and we want them to find the courses that are best for them, even if they're ultimately not with us. Colleges also offer a lot more level 2 and level 1 and entry level courses for us. So if your child will not meet the threshold for A levels or level 3 BTEC, you may find that they have more choice at college or elsewhere. Glenn is our real expert on this. You can email Glenn, and Glenn will be available on results day as well to support. Just a quick note then on what happens next. So what happens after sixth form? The vast majority of our students, most at LaSWAP and especially at Acland Burghley base, do go on to university, and over 80% of them do, and they go off to do a huge range of different subjects and different degrees. And one thing that I'm really proud of is the support and guidance that we have for our progression after sixth form. Again, that forms a core part of that personal development curriculum. But we also we make sure that students are well informed. We make sure that families are really well informed about things like like UCAS and student finance and things like that. We run specialised support for students who might be applying for medicine or Oxford and Cambridge, aspirational programme. all kinds of things to support students with HE ambitions. But we do recognise that not all young people want to go to university, and it's not the right pathway for everyone. So we have lots of independent guidance. We work with a lot of employers. We offer support with apprenticeship applications. We have contacts with apprentices who come in and chat with us, and we provide trips, talks, work experience, workshops. We have a really good program through Career Ready of mentoring, and again, there are lots and lots of options for our students when they leave us. Final things then are just things to look at when you're considering a sixth form, because again, I know that lots of people have children who are holding offers elsewhere. You do, as well as the subjects that are offered, which is the obvious thing, do look at things like that HE advice and guidance, look at careers advice and guidance, look at their destinations post-18, so where do their students go, their facilities, their tutorial and pastoral support, what enrichment they offer, and it can also be worth looking at their offering around EPQ, extended project qualification, which is an AS level equivalent qualification, which gives UCAS points and is really desirable to lots of Russell Group universities. So lots of sixth forms and colleges offer EPQ as an optional extra. We do, but it is worth looking at. Finally, then we just got a big long list of emails. Our emails are all our first initial and surname at aclandburghley.camden.sch.uk, with the exception of mine, which is still my old name. So my email address is still lstanley@aclandburghley, etc., because I only changed my name recently. And here's our lovely students. Some more of our lovely students on GCSE results day last year, looking extremely pleased, as they should have been. So that's all from me today. That's everything I wanted to talk through. If you've got any questions, I'll hang on for a few minutes now. Please do feel free to put them in the chat, and I will read them out and respond to as many questions as possible. If you have any questions that are really specific to your child, please feel free to email me if you want a more kind of personalized response. In fact, let me just put my email address up again for a second, just to make sure that people have definitely got it. There it is. I'll just give that a couple of minutes for people to write that down, for people to put things in the chat, and then I will respond to those chat questions. Okay, great. Let me have a look at some of these questions in the chat. So let me have a look. I am L Stanley. Yes, just for people asking, I am L Stanley. A lot of you will know me as Laura Stanley. I've now changed my name to L Piercy, but I am L Stanley on the email. So first question, will there be enrolment information for external students? Yes, it is going out this week from Central LaSWAP. So I don't want to talk too much about that because it is all going out for like centralized from Central LaSWAP this week. Sorry, let me just scroll up. Can students enroll at a different LaSWAP school? We will usually enroll students at Acland Burghley if they've been Acland Burghley students, but If there is a reason for students to not want to be based at Acland Burghley, they can tell us, and we will do our best to accommodate that. They should just tell us on results day. So when they enroll on the 24th, if they explain that they want to be enrolled somewhere else and the reason why, we will do what we can to accommodate that. Can we view the grades from LaSWAP from previous years? I only have the grades for Acland Burghley, but I'm sure there must be a I'm sure we must have the headline grades from all of LaSWAP. I've only got them from Burghley at the minute. Can you please drop me an email? So the person who popped that in the chat, and I will find them and I will send them to you. But I don't have them to hand right now. That looks like it at the minute. That'd be all of our questions. So great. So I'll finish up there. As I say, hopefully you've got my email now if you need to contact me. Otherwise, have a fantastic summer, and I will see everyone on GCSE results day. I'll see you on A-level results day the week before if you are around for that. If not, on the 24th. Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming.